Um, hello to everyone watching online as well. We're back. We've had a few months off, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it. A lot of stuff has kicked off in those last couple of months that we'll be talking about today, and we'll be getting into it because the very last one that we did, so the last video that you guys can watch online, was the introduction. So that was more what we're going to be looking at, how we're going to be looking at it, and then I'll let you play with the bags and the EDC and have a look at some of that stuff. If you just want to ask questions, no worries, we have the microphones, so everyone out there in TV land can hear you as well. So just raise a hand or say, Pax, got a question, or like to add something, or whatever. Thank you all for coming. Thank you guys for watching. Bless you guys. All right, so today is the very first day. This is day one. Let's call this day zero. Yeah? This is day zero. Because we should already be prepared. I asked a question in my last sermon. You've had 6 months to prepare. Who's done anything? Who's got a bug out bag? Right? Okay? In the last sermon, 2 people put their hands up. And they were all here. So it's important to prepare, be prepared. Remember, preparing doesn't mean you're prepared. It means you're in the first stages of actually preparing. And that's what we're going to look at today, because being prepared is a lifestyle. It is literally a lifestyle. It's like worship. It's something that you should do naturally every day. You should be situationally aware every day, everywhere you go. You should have your discernment radars on. You should know what's going on. Because I harp on this constantly, but we have to be doers of the word. Yeah? And not just doers of the word, we have to be doers in practical as well. So it's one thing to come here and listen to me talk for a little bit and then go home and watch it. It's another thing to actually go and do it. Put this into practice. Learn how to light a fire. Learn how to string a hammock. Learn how to get out of a situation. Because as you guys have seen on the TV, stuff has really kicked off in a major way. I'm talking the protests. I'm not talking the corona or the COVID-19 stuff. I'm talking the protests. If you haven't seen the protests or know what's going on, get informed, because knowledge is your key. If you know what's going on, you will be ahead of the curve. And unfortunately, if you don't know what's going on, you're behind the curve already. So, we need to prepare, but we also need to train. I have here my weighted vest. Yes, this is just an industrial coat hanger for the weighted vest. My weighted vest is about 10 kilos, front and back. When I go for walks, when I go for runs, I do a 2.5k run with this on, okay? I'm going to start passing it around, and you guys can actually feel how heavy this stuff is. Why? Why do you need to train? Why do you need to train, Pax? Well, if you're in a situation and you have to run for your life with a backpack, how long are you honestly going to make it? Can you run? When was the last time you ran? When was the last time you walked with purpose? Yeah? Because as you've seen, the days are turning ugly. And this is something I've been trying to prepare people for, to get their mindset right. Here you go. You hold that and see how heavy it is. That's like a normal backpack that you'd have to walk around with gears in. Or your daughter on your back. My wife puts my son on her back when she goes for runs. She doesn't need a backpack, she's got a Huggy Bear. Yeah, no. Here you go. Now, I don't only just train with that, I train with this. I put that on first, and then I put my bag on. My bag has 3 litres of water, which equals 3 kilos. What else is in this bag? You might ask. I have a 10 kilo weight in here. So I've got 10 kilos plus 3 kilos plus another 10 to 15 kilos. Now, I'm not saying you have to train with that. I'm saying start somewhere. I'm showing you what I do so you can go, oh, well, he's not just talking the talk. A lot of people talk the talk and don't actually go and do. Remember? Do. Do what the word says. Train. Why? Because your life will depend on it one day. Yeah? And that's what we're all about here. Getting you guys prepared for worst case scenario. I start at worst case scenario and work my way back. Why? Because if worst case scenario kicks off, I have a plan. In a real scenario, without training, without thinking or putting yourself in a mindset of harm's way, the possibility of you freezing like a deer in a headlight is exponentially greater than if you actually trained and had a mindset of, if things kick off, I know what to do. Why? Because it's going to be too overwhelming. I've seen it already. Have you seen the riots? Have you seen the vision? Don't think it can't happen here. Yeah. Yeah? Hang on. I want that. Check. There you go.
Yeah, I went through it when I was small. I had to run so fast with my mum and my sisters and brothers to get away from the gunshots and that.
Guns and bombs and stuff going off?
Yeah. Every afternoon we have to actually run so fast to the bomb shelter to actually to survive.
Yep.
One time it came a big bomb and I froze. I really froze. I couldn't hear anything.
And you were used to it, and you still froze.
I froze, and I couldn't hear anything, and they had to push me and to actually get out of it, but I froze.
Yeah. See, we live in comfort. We live in it's not going to happen to us society. It's going to happen to us. If we believe our Bibles, if we believe our own eyes, it's going to happen. It's already happened here in Australia. 2005, December 11, Cronulla riots. It's already happened. But we've forgotten about it because we've gotten back into the comfort stage. As Timothy warned us, we are to be ready in and out of season. It doesn't matter when it is, be ready to go. When stuff kicks off, you're not going to have a warning. Now, don't forget, okay, I want to preface something here. I'm not just talking about riots. What if there's a tsunami? What if there's a natural disaster? What if there's an EMP? This isn't just, I'm not just harping on riots here. This is just what's going on at the moment. That's the plain fact, okay? EMP, electromagnetic pulse, takes out all electrical equipment. And if you're talking about all electric equipment, you're talking about cars. You're talking about trains. You're talking about buses. You're talking about planes. You're talking about phones. You're talking about anything with electrics in it. And if it's big enough, it'll take everything out. And like I've always said, don't think of a Faraday cage. What's a Faraday cage? Faraday cage protects little stuff from an EMP. It's the opposite to the action. A Faraday cage is a powered thing that detracts what's coming in. You're never going to have anything powerful enough to detract something that's going to take out a city grid or a whole suburban outscape. You're not going to have anything that's that powerful. If you think about it, it's a bomb detonated in the air. Who's got something that powerful in their backyard or in their shed? It's not going to happen, okay? So you've got to think about stuff like that, which is where preparedness comes in. If something like that happens, how are you going to get away? Where are you going to go? What are you going to do? So today, we're going to reaffirm something because we need a good foundation. Timothy 1 Timothy 6:19 says, storing up for themselves a good foundation for the thing to come, that they may hold on to eternal life. It's coming. If you have a good foundation, you won't be that poor person standing there not knowing what to do. If you have a good foundation, you won't be the deer in the headlights. If you have a good foundation, you'll be able to help. Don't forget, this is not just about helping ourselves. This is about helping our families. This is about helping our group, so our friends, our relatives, our close-knits. This is also about helping your community. If you see or know something's coming, are you just honestly going to keep it to yourself? Some may. Fair enough. But if it's something big like a tsunami or something that people don't know about that can get out of Dodge, and you didn't warn them, you're wearing that. It's not always about self. When is the Christian life ever about self? Ever. Some things, like personal security, that's about self. Yeah? That's one-on-one, and what are you going to do? We'll look at that a bit later as well. So all of this and His Word should be our firm foundation. Now, if you go back to the first video, everything that is talked about is found in the Word. Flee to the mountains. Why does He say that? He says, get out of Dodge, because He knows what's coming. Are you going to take that on board? Fair enough. How are you going to get there? Where are you going? Every situation is different. It's fluid. It's its own beast. You've got to react to the situation. You've got to discern the situation. Remember, discernment is not just for Christians. Non-Christians have discernment. It's called situational awareness. Discernment is simply that feeling you get. Got a bad feeling about this. Got a bad vibe. I hear non-Christians say this all the time. The vibe just didn't feel right. There was something off. So don't ever think Christians don't have discernment. Non-Christians, sorry. Because they do. Everyone has it. God puts it in you at the start. There's the firm foundation. We already have that discernment. We just got to learn how to switch it on and use it properly. Because discernment will be the key in handling ourselves in any situation. So depending on what factor has triggered the situation, it will dictate what you do. How fast you do it, and whether you survive. How you move, when you move, and what you bring. You must tailor your equipment to yourself. I've had over 15 years of experience to tailor my equipment to what I need, depending on the situation. I have an everyday carry. This is what I literally take to work every day. This is my everyday carry. Small, lightweight, can pack heaps of stuff in it. It's got mullet on it, so I can attach more if I need to. Unobtrusive, wouldn't really look twice at it. It's a sling, goes over your shoulder. But I have a lot of cool stuff in there, which you saw in the first one. My computer bag. That's all it is, it's a computer bag. But I can pack a lot of stuff into my computer bag. My get home bag. This is in my car all the time. This and this are in my car all the time. So these two are in my car all the time. Packed, ready to go. Why? Because if I'm stuck somewhere I need to get home, what's happening will dictate which one I use. I can get home by train. I have to ruck it. Because it depends on where you are as well. All this is a depends. This is a best educated guess. At best. But we need to be prepared for it. Which means we need to prepare. Got to start somewhere. And today is the start. Today is something that people overlook. It's the plan. Do you have a plan? That's the question. Does anyone have a plan? 2 out of have a plan. Yeah, okay, yeah, we're about to go through that. Have plan A, B, and C. Very good. Because if you don't have a plan, what are you doing? Scripture for it. Ready? You are walking blindly into the situation. Scripture, Luke 6:39. And he spoke a parable to them. Can the blind lead the blind? Will they not both fall into the ditch? If you don't have a plan and you're trying to get out with your family, you're the blind leading the blind. If you don't have a plan and you're trying to help others, you're putting them in harm's way. If you have a plan, execute. This comes back to the deer in the headlights. What happens when, not many people get put into the situation like Myrna was talking about before, where you have to literally run for your life because there is gunfire and bombs. What would you do if that happened? Would you immediately find cover? What would you do? Do you have a plan for that? Could it kick off here? Yeah, it can. Go to Bankstown every Saturday night. No, only kidding. It happens here. You mightn't hear about it because you haven't got your eyes open and your ears open, your radar on. But it happens. Almost every weekend, something happens and kicks off here. Why? Because bad guys have guns. Bombs aren't hard to make, unfortunately. You can Google it. Do you have a contingency plan? So not just a plan A, not just a plan B, but a plan C. Why have more than one plan? Well, redundancies. What's redundancies? Redundancies are two or more of anything. Remember, 1 is none, 2 is 1. Yeah? I'm going to drill this into you guys. 1 is none, 2 is 1. Because if plan A is a bust, what's going to happen? You're just going to go, I don't know what to do now. My plan just got blown up. The best strategic thinkers, the best tactical people have up to 3 plans for any one situation. Any given situation. I'll give you this. I have a Navy SEAL buddy. He went for a 6-month deployment. They trained for 18 months for a 6-month deployment. They not only had 3 contingency plans, and they're going in for one purpose, one single purpose. They trained for 18 months, first of all. Secondly, they didn't have just one plan. They had contingencies in case, what if? So this is something we don't ask ourselves. What if? What if plan A doesn't work? Plan A is usually drive away. I heard that just today. Oh, I'd drive away. What if you can't? What if, I'll go back to rioting here. What if the rioters are jumping on your car and are all surrounding you? You going to drive away? Well, I've seen a few. I won't lie. What if there's an EMP? What if there's a flood? A simple flood. I'm talking a simple flood here. And what's a simple flood? A simple flood is heavy rain and the drainage system can't take it. I was brought up in Bondi. Now, if you know Bondi at all, it goes like this to the beach. So what happens when all this water runs downhill? We were flooded up to here. We couldn't use our cars. We couldn't walk away. It was up to here. A simple flood that was only due to heavy rain and a bunged up sewer system. But what if the worst kicks off? What if there's a threat, a bomb threat? The city shuts down. I can tell you what happens because I'm privy to stuff like this. The city will shut down, which means cars are going nowhere. Only essential personnel will be able to move at any given time. So that's EMTs, police, military, depending on what's going on. And usually those boys will be coming in heavy and knocking you straight out of the way with their big Bushmaster cars and the fun stuff. Helicopters, all that kind of stuff. If something really kicks off, they plan for this every day. Do we? What is your plan? What is your plan A? What is your plan B? What is your plan C? That's what we're going to be talking about today. Because you've got to start somewhere. Good foundation is a plan. If you don't have a plan, you're blind. So have a plan B so that you can action it and execute it if plan A gets scrapped. Because if you stop and think, you'll freak out. We're trying to build a good knowledge base, a good mindset, so we don't have to stop and think. We just action. Have an action plan. Yep, going to A. A's a bust, head to B. Now, in saying that, how do you communicate the plan? Okay, so who's it for? It's for the individual, the plan. You know the plan. You've already communicated it to yourself, so you know the plan. Okay, but what about your household? Does your household know the plan? Does your group know the plan? Does your community know the plan? Which comes back to, do you have a plan? Okay, so we at the USW stand by the KISS methodology. Keep it simple, saints. I won't use the other word, but yeah, you can go there if you want. But keep it simple, saints. Have a plan. And then look at how you're going to communicate that plan. It's to let the core people that need to know what is going to happen, how it's going to happen, so they're not deer in the headlights as well. Something I've found, just because I'm prepared doesn't mean my wife's prepared. Doesn't mean my kids are prepared. Doesn't mean they won't freak out. I can be as manly as I want and have every plan known to man. But if I don't communicate that plan and get them in the right mindset, unfortunately, they'll be my liability as well. I'll take that liability every day. It's not a question. But if they know the plan, because I've communicated it and they know what to do, if I'm not there, okay, I'll give you a scenario. I'm in the city. Stuff kicks off. I go to plan A. One simple text, and I'll be showing you my way of doing it because it's simple and because even my 6-year-old gets it and understands. So you can call it what you like. You can do what you like, but keep it simple because even though it might be gold in your head, it might be a struggle in someone else's. If you go too elaborate, and they don't need to know the fine details, okay? This is where I'm going with it, like, you need to tell them what to do and how to do it when you say to do it. They don't need to know the intricacies or they need to know the overall effect and how to put it into place. So my simple system is the traffic light system. My 6-year-old knows traffic lights. Everyone knows traffic lights. Green, amber, red. I go 2 extra steps. I go 5 steps. Okay? So I go green, amber, red, brown, black. Okay? That's up there. So we'll go to green. We'll have a look at green. Okay? First step. Pray. Second step. All okay. Everything's fine, nothing to report. Some would say, why would you have a green? Well, if something does kick off, and you know they're nowhere near it, everything's green. Don't worry about it. It's small, it's isolated, and you don't need to worry about it. If my wife texts me, oh, what about this? This is going down. Green, baby. It's all green. Don't worry. Don't stress. Okay? My kids need to know. Kids know more than you think. They get the stress that's coming off you. They're not as dumb as we make them out to be. So if I say to my 6-year-old, everything's green, mate. Green. Okay, Dad, no worries. So green is everything's fine. Everything's okay. Then we hit amber. No, it doesn't mean speed up. It means pray. But now use caution. Something's going on. Be aware. Just have a bit of sense about you and await further instructions. Just don't forget this is coming from me to them. Simple text. And it can be literally an amber emoji. Simple. They know what's going on. Or something's happening, all right, I'll pray. I won't go too far. I'll isolate myself and await further instructions. Okay? Then we hit red. First thing, pray. Now, I have head to rally point home. So my kids, my wife know to head straight home. If they see a red emoji, they're heading home, straight up. They're sheltering in place, and they're readying their bug-out bags and their bug-out procedure. They're getting stuff ready. So they know something's up, but they're ready. They're on ready alert. They're getting ready. They're getting their bug-out bags out of the garage. They're setting them at the front door. They're setting security. By setting security, it's going to change from person to person, household to household. If you have stuff in your house that you can use to board up stuff, set security. If you can lay out some booby traps, lay out some booby traps, set security. What's a booby trap? Simple, some glass. Get some glass, crush it up, lay it out. You'll hear them coming. And it'll probably hurt them if they've got flip-flops or something on. Simple, set security. But setting security for my family as well is get the bows, as my son laughs, get the bows out, get what you need to get, and pray. I'm coming. But have everything ready to go. Now don't forget, it's fluid. This situation can turn from green to red in a hurry, which is why I have brown. Brown. Stuff's hit the fan. Yeah? All hell's broken loose. and you really need to pray. So we're readying our bug out protocol already. That's in place. Now I've got head to rally point alpha. For my family, for me, that means not home. That's a secondary place that's semi-rural with good security in walking distance. Now, we're lucky out here. We can go from urban city kind of to acreage within 10 minutes. That's walking. Yeah? So I have designated a place as Point Alpha, which is a friend's abode on 20 acres of land, and we know the place, and security is good. They head to Rally Point Alpha, they set security, and they await further instructions. They know to do this. If they see a brown emoji, they're not waiting. They're not thinking. They are acting. They are doing. They won't hesitate, and they won't question. People get mucked up by questioning what's going on. If someone sees something going on and says, do this, why question it? If it doesn't kick off, what have you lost at all? If it does kick off, what have you gained? Yeah? So the worst thing to do is question it or ask why. Just do. You have a plan for a reason. The plan is to get out of Dodge if things kick off. We're here to prepare people. That's what this course is for. We're here to make a plan, execute the plan, put the plan into action, that means. If you're questioning the plan, your mindset's not right straight away. If you're questioning why you need a plan, that's even worse. Then we head to situation black. Black is situation critical. I've put up there Armageddon, but that was just a funny thing for me because we've hit Armageddon stage. Situation critical. Again, first thing to do, pray. Bug out protocol. Head to Rally Point Zion. I don't just have a plan A, I don't just have a plan B. I also have a plan C, which is another place to go to. I don't have my house, just my house. I don't have acreage. I have Zion to go to. Zion is last case. Everything's going to hell, and you have no choice. Now, if you have a look, I haven't put await further instructions. There's no further instructions needed. Head to Zion. Simple. Get there however you can and how fast you can. And by any means necessary. That's my plan. That's my plan of attack. Mightn't be your plan of attack. But it's something for you to think about. And if you've never thought about it before, there's a way to go about it that's simple to remember. For your kids, for your wives, for your husbands, for your parents, for your 70, 80-year-old parents. It's traffic light system, simple. What do we do? There you go. These are the procedures. This is all you have to do. I have it on a little card. a laminated card. I have red, I have black, brown, red, a little laminated card that they keep in their wallets. Simple. In case they get that thing and go, oh, what was red? Happens. I know what red is because I've made the plan. The person that's made the plan always knows what's going on. The people that get told the plan, so you have a laminate, you have each little thing on there, and what it's not big enough to put all that on, but a simple head to Zion, they already know that they're going to need their bags. It's not rocket science. To get to Zion, you need a bag, and you need your 3-day bag. They know this stuff. To get to Rally Point Alpha, they only need a 12-hour bag. They don't need their big one, but they can take it. If it's red and they're going home, usually you can just drive home. But get your stuff ready then. Simple. Now, I've made pray at the head of all of these alerts. Why? Because Scripture tells us to pray without ceasing. It's our go-to. See, being humans, our go-to usually is self. Yes, we need to do it ourselves. Well, let's get God in the mix. It's something that will fly out of your head in a situation. If a situation arises, is God the first thing you're going to think of? Usually not. Usually what the situation is and how can I get out of it is the first thing you think of. So I've made pray the first thing to make God the first thing we think of, and to get that hedge of protection around us. Don't forget, this is a spiritual battle as well. You want angels behind you helping you get out? Pray. You want discernment to know what's going on? Pray. Make God the first thing. And then everything else should run smoothly. As smooth as it can. There's always contingencies. Put it this way, I have plan A, plan B, plan C. Then I have a primary, secondary, and a tertiary for each of those plans. My wife doesn't need to know that. My kids don't need to know that. That's just something I have because I go to worst case scenario and work my way back. 1 Timothy 2, 1-4 says, "Therefore I exhort first of all that supplications, prayers, intercessions, and giving of thanks be made for all men, for kings and all who are in authority. You are the kings of your family. You are the heads of the household. You are the king. That we may lead a quiet and peaceable life in all godliness and reverence." We put God first, we're doing it with godliness and reverence.
We hope you enjoyed this introduction of the CUSP Christian Urban Survival and Preparedness course. We hope you will join us for the next segment of CUSP with Pastor Pax Cordova. If you would like to support the Ultimate Spirit Warrior Ministry, you can send a love offering by the methods shown on the screen or visit www.theuswshow.com. God bless.